What's going on? So, I wanted to talk about the subconscious mind and the reason why I believe that it is important because I have come to some awareness about life and what we hold on to and the responses people make. And it made me come to a realization that a lot of people are not aware of the trauma that they're holding on. And I'm going to talk about myself. I'm not going to talk about nobody else. But what I'm going to say is I don't allow my trauma possibly anymore, right? Anymore. Because you allow your trauma to respond from you, for you. And if you allow the trauma to respond, people are more likely to, I don't, when you're aware, when you're self aware and you're fully understanding of where you are and what life has given you, and you don't respond to things people say. So I know growing up, I was not aware of, and I know I've said it before, how I respond and being upset or mad all damn day for nothing, right? For nothing. Because in reality, that thing that happened, the thing somebody said, it really, I gave them my power. And now that I know energy is everything, and the more you allow people in your space, the more you have to protect your energy. And everything people say to you, sometimes it's not about you, it's about them. It's about them and their lack of confidence in themselves, the trauma that they went through, the fears, the limitations, the beliefs that they have about themselves that was implanted, not maybe specifically said to them, but something they overheard, right? And a lot of people live in that place where they can't get past what somebody said, or somebody has said it so long that they believe it. It's their identity. And for me, it's understanding you and where and why you respond the way you do, right? Because your subconscious mind isn't directly accessible, but it's all about your thoughts, your feelings, your memories, and your desires outside your conscious awareness. It's the things that people have said before that you let play in your head. And you believe it's true because you've heard it so much, right? You can't cancel out that voice, that thing that keeps, that recorder that keeps playing over and over and over again in your head. Like you keep playing it like it's a badge of honor. And a lot of people I know growing up would say something, and then I know people still do it today, right? They respond with, well, that's just how she is. That's that trauma that they're responding from, right? The things that happen in our lives, the not wanting to change. And I know anger and resentment come from someplace that people don't understand. And I want to encourage all of y'all to dig deep into where and how you show up for yourself, because I'm going to tell you this, a lot of relationships are ruined, friendships, partnerships, all the things are ruined because of what you have stored in your subconscious mind. And I know a lot of people talk about it now as emotional intelligence, but it's like deeper, right? Because your subconscious interferes with it has an influence on your behavior. And when you don't check your subconscious, your mind plays the crucial role in influencing your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings. And your intuition and your gut, the things you say, the snap offs, the snapbacks, all the things that you. So pay attention, right? So your subconscious, it stores your previous memories, all the experiences. So when people say like their anxiety is bad from certain things, that's their subconscious holding and replaying that thing in their mind. Their fear plays in their mind because the subconscious don't let it go, because it doesn't believe that you want to release it. It is a part of you because we keep holding on to what was. And I know a lot of people gonna have something to say, the comeback, the snapback about the fact that Your subconscious is not your reality, right? Like it's the creation, the thing that you live through, but it doesn't have to be a reality. We are all capable of shifting our perspectives, our thoughts, our ideas of who we are, our identity. But it's, do you want to? Is it that badge of honor, right? Is it that badge you want to keep holding on to? That's the question. And I really want to create a series of conversations where we identify what you're holding on to, what issues you have that have created from that. Because a lot of people don't understand that your subconscious controls a lot of the things that you do. People go to therapy to get it fixed, right? And sometimes a lot of people don't, because they have not identified that thing you have been taught, right? You could be taught something, but in reality, growing up, you see, right? And you always, I heard, right? Your children watch everything, right? Sometimes you may not say something to them, you may not voice it, but it's your actions that they're watching. So you want them to do better than you, then you need to start doing better. You need to start showing up differently. You need to create that thing that you want, right? And the biggest part of it all is stop speaking things into existence. Stop allowing your mind to create something that's not true. Create amazingness. Here's the thing. I know I'm going to tell you, right? Growing up from the Virgin Islands, I'm going to say it's an island thing. And I can only tell you it's an island thing because that's my experience. I can only tell you what I've experienced from people. We angry. And angry for nothing. And for me, that concept of that angry Black woman. So I know it's not a island thing, but it's something that I can identify with as an islander, that we're angry. And we talked about this on our podcast, I want to say a while ago, but the thoughts that we have, right? Like nobody wants to change. Everybody wants to stay the same, but that walking around with the resting bitch face, what that don't do nothing for us. That does absolutely nothing for us, because for me, you are now walking around angry because what, you don't want to be happy, because you don't want to. For me, I'm gonna tell you right now, when I identify with the fact that I don't have to let anybody steal my joy, because that's the word, right? Everybody says, oh, they steal my joy, they make me unhappy. No, you allow them to do that. You allow them to put you in a place where they don't have any power over you. You have given them your power. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm always talking about. We give people so much power that they don't deserve. They don't deserve that identity. They don't deserve to take what you have for you from you. You have the power to tell people no. You have the power to set boundaries. But see, what we don't do is we want to people please. We want to, and I'm gonna tell you, that's me, right? I wouldn't say that I was people pleasing, but my situation. And now as I dig deeper, getting older, I dig deeper, and I want to know, because I want my children to grow up knowing that if I say something to you that you don't like, there's no need to get mad and have an attitude about it. But see, what I've learned is I have to check myself, because my subconscious, my upbringing created my response. So trigger, right? And I have to literally take a breath and be like, you know what? I'm not going to respond from a trigger place. I'm going to respond from how this situation is going to play out and how I want you to see what I'm saying to you. Because a lot of us grew up and in reality, we got yelled at, right? And I turned around and I yelled at my kids, right? So I think that's the only result that we can have is I tell you to do something, you don't do it, I'm yelling. So let me give you an example. My daughter, she loves to do the opposite of what I want, right? Like for me, you keep your counter clean. You ain't got like, she takes things from under the counter and puts them up. So for me, I go behind her and put them back. And I'm like, now at the point where I'm like, you're being real spiteful about this now. Like, get it to damn together, right? So me trying to show up differently, right? And not trying, but me showing up differently. is I called her in the bathroom and I said, hey, let me ask you something. Did you use this today? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, when we're done with something, where does it go? And she's like, under the counter. I said, oh, so that's where it should be, right? So that's my different response instead of yelling. So now it's her, I really think it's her now not wanting to be spiteful. And that's the words I'm going to use, right? Being spiteful because you know you're not supposed to be doing it, but you keep doing it. That's spiteful to me, right? That's what she keeps doing because you can't forget. You can't forget that your mother doesn't like crap on the counter. You can't forget that your mother doesn't like the whole entire counter to be covered so you ain't got no place to put stuff. But that's a small example of the things that I'm working on as it comes to responding to my children. Because what people don't understand is, and I learned this back, and it's part of like your heritage patterns, right? Where you've learned something, and how you've learned it, you do the same thing until you're taught that way. Yes, that's how they got results back then, or they got results, but you don't have to do it that way. You don't. No one says, and the best thing is like people, even when I do the health, right? Health coaching, I'm gonna tell you right now, people, they love to play this. Well, that's how my mama did it, right? Like I know it because that's how my mama did it, right? Grandma, we have to go to grandma's house to eat Thanksgiving and we're gonna eat a whole plate of food. Like all these little things that people believe because they were taught it. Or if they weren't taught it, right? They just watched everybody else. As kids, we watch everybody else pile plates up. And it's like, now I'm like, what? You don't have to do that. You could take your time, right? Take a little bit at a time. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. But our subconscious plays a huge part. And I feel like it needs to be identified. It needs to be brought to light that we live in a place where our subconscious it's hindering us. It's hindering our growth. It's hindering that next level you want, because you can never go to that next level being held back by somebody else's identity of you or that expectation, right? I love when people tell me that, well, that's how I, because for me, that's how I want things. I want things a specific way. What I will not do is lower my expectation for anybody else. I have a specific thing that I want from me. And if you can't come to where I want you to be, if I decide to tell you you got to go, this right here, there's no in between. There's no debating with you. I will not debate with what I want from me anymore because I don't have to. And it don't matter who you are. I even tell my children, I'm like, you know, at this point in my life, I refuse to debate and argue over something that I'm not going to say I know best, but I got a lot more years on you than you have on this earth. And I would love for you to pay attention to what I'm saying to you because of the fact that I want to help you. I don't want you to have to struggle with a pain, with a thing. Yes, it may be crazy what I'm telling you to do, but not crazy, right? But my son has a sty, and I wanted to give him a warm compress. Well, the first time he was doing the warm compress with the towel, like, you know, we all do, but he wasn't keeping it on his eye. So for me, I'm that cute mother. I went out to Amazon. I didn't go out to Amazon. I went onto Amazon and I ordered one of those eye patches. I wish I had it in here. And I was like all excited. He seen that eye patch and was like, I'm not wearing that. I just want the towel. And I'm not giving you the towel. Because the towel don't work because you don't wear it. You don't hold it on. You don't do what you're supposed to do. So we had a full on like breakdown. I said, you know what, since you don't believe me, let's go to the doctor and tell the doctor what's going on and let the doctor figure out. He's like, I don't want to go to the doctor. Well, then should we not try the easy method right now? So we had a big old fight. And I told him, I was like, I'm not going to debate. Either you wear it or we go doctor. Your choice. Choose. So what I'm learning is him crying and reacting to me telling him to do something. I was triggered and I was like, you're going to do this. But I realized me explaining it. And I know somebody's going to say, I don't have time to explain. I shouldn't have to explain to a child. But think about yourself, right? Think about you And when somebody tells you to do something, you want an explanation, right? You just be like, why the hell am I doing that? Or why should I listen to you? We're the same. Children and adults are the same. We're all humans and we all have that same thought process of, I would like it explained better, right? You don't have to take the time to explain it to a child. You don't, but you have to understand where they're coming from, right? They're curious. They want to know. And I'm going to tell you that I have a 10 and a 5-year-old and I'm still learning. I'm still learning because I am becoming better. I am the change that I need for them. So when you go out and you're thinking and you're creating, you're responding to people, right? Think about why you're responding the way you're responding and what trigger is making you respond like that. Because in reality, when we start to pay attention to what we're responding to, we start paying to our energy, we start paying attention to how and what people, like certain people, do to us and how you feel around them. It's your identity becoming unmasked, right? Because you could sit here and say that you're good. I'm amazing. I'm fucking amazing. Like, I'm not gonna doubt that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, some of my old habits that I had back in the day, some that knew me back in the day, listen, I my snap back is snapping back. But now I'll just look at you. Because I will no longer allow anybody to take me out in reality character, right? Because I know spiritually, you ain't taking me out of that. I'm not wasting any more energy on you. And that's the place we need to live, right? Is what somebody's saying to you worth your energy? Does it matter? When people have a comment about you, don't take it in. Don't take it into your subconscious, because that creates an identity. Somebody say something about the shirt you wore. Like, who cares? That's where you have to live. You have to take it and brush it off. Something happens, you need to take it and feel like, I am in a place where you could say what you want to say, but I'm still going to show up as me, right? You could say that I just don't deal with people. Like, I refuse to be in a space where, and I know I'm in business, right? But I will not deal with people who have bad energy. I won't. I refuse to deal with people who have bad energy and those people who don't have my best interest. Like, every time we go to a next level, pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to the things that the comments, the sly, slick-faced comments they have to say. Be mindful of that. Because the minute you start to pay attention to what people are saying about you when you go to the next level, those are the people you have to weed out, right? Do some gardening. Weed those people out because they no longer have access. They're no longer allowed to be in your space because they don't get to tell you something that you're no longer, right? All those little friends that you had back in the day that knew you when you were that person, they don't get access because you don't have to prove that you've changed, right? Like, you don't have to say, oh, come see what I'm doing. Let me let you in my life so you can see that I'm better now. You don't owe them nothing. Keep doing you. Keep going forward. Keep you and what you want at the forefront, because that is the way that you get to your purpose. Walking in your purpose and stepping into your power is the most powerful thing you could do for yourself. But when you allow other people to take you down, when you allow people to dictate how you show up, you are now giving them your power. So remember that. So I will be back with more. I'm going to do a series. I don't know how many videos I will do, but I truly believe that I need to share the things that I've learned, because a lot of people don't know that their subconscious holds information. It dictates your life if you don't control it. Have a good one.